standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's for better, I'll write every letter and moving right along. And I'll roll with the punches, accept changes, work with the formula, do what I have to do. And call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When you are willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you told. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name, I am ready. Welcome back to Talking Point Assamba Live. With me in studio, I have my guest, energy medicine specialist and naturopathic holistic health practitioner, Jarrett. And I have Lorraine Turner, who is currently being treated by Jarrett. In the break, somebody called to say that they have bumps resembling acne on the nose, and they would like to know if you can suggest anything for this condition.
Yeah. Well, first of all, bumps is caused by toxicity. And bumps are caused by toxicity.
What is toxicity?
Toxicity is when you eat something bad and the environmental things that go in your system. And,
okay.
That's just a general term for all those things. And it manifests again through the skin. The skin is a great indicator of how we are inside. The first line of treatment for that is water.
Drinking a lot of water.
Drinking a lot of water, and make sure it's the purest water you can find.
What is the purest water? Water commission water?
Yeah, if you can energize it.
How do you energize it?
If you can energize it, you have to be able to be trained to energize it.
Okay.
I wouldn't drink just any water commission water because you don't know the source and blah, 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 right? However, and don't boil it. Because when you boil it, you take a lot of the toxins out. I mean, the energy out of the water. Right?
And boiled water tastes terrible, man.
Yeah, it tastes, as you said, terrible, bitter and weird. The bottled water is not bad, right? The ones you buy in the supermarket and so on. So I'd go that route. You can get down to more specifics like which brand. I don't want to touch that.
No, you're not going to go that way.
Right. But just try and suss it out yourself. Ask the supermarket which one they'd recommend or whatever, and just use water first. Drink every 3 hours, you drink 8 ounces of water.
Mm-hmm.
Because the body uses 8 ounces of water every 3 hours. That's how you get the 8 glasses per day if you divide it by 20, into 24.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
8 ounces of water is like a bottle.
Yeah, small bottle. Yes. Usually a glass. A glass of water, a cup of water. That is usually measured out in it. Yeah.
Let's just take a break and play another Whitney Houston song tonight. Your hands. I Will Always Love You. It was the first song that we had on Carrot's list. I'm sure you don't have it.
isn't that a wonderful song? I've heard it so much in the past week as people pay tribute to the great Whitney Houston, who we lost. Joining us on the telephone now is Pat Wright. Hello, Pat.
Hello. How are you?
Right there. You're in Mobe?
I'm
Pat.
I'm a place to be.
Well, don't boast. Those of us who cannot be in Mobe at this time. Pat, you have told your story a number of times about your fight. Shall I call it a fight, or well, you've won. You've beaten colon cancer. Continuous fight. You have beaten colon cancer twice. You've beaten bone cancer once, and in last year you had both breasts removed. I like the way how you say that you now have 2 new girls, size 34B. You really, thank you so much, I think, first of all, for sharing your story. And, explaining to people how it is that you have got through what your body has been doing to you or not doing to you. Thank you so much for that. Pat, tell me something. What are you doing now?
This last one, this struggle continued. So, I'm convinced that once you're prone to this disease, you're never really totally out of the woods. So you just have to keep it at bay, as Jarrett likes to tell me, to do what I'm to do so that it doesn't come and do me, you know what I mean? So it's, you just have to keep at it. It's a constant war, it's a daily fight, it's a daily struggle.
When did you meet up with Jarrett?
Jarrett is my ex-brother-in-law.
Uh-huh.
So, and my son is 32, so we won't bother going any further. You've
known Jarrett for a long time, but in terms of the training?
The training came because he and I have always been close and friends. When I got, in 2006, when they suggested chemotherapy, after my surgery, and I went through the first round, and I've always felt that chemotherapy was not for me. From I'm 24, I said I'll never do chemotherapy. And as I heard both of you talking about a while ago, and he said to you, it begins in the mind. Yes. And to me, if my mind is so firmly against chemotherapy, I'm not to have chemotherapy. I'm not going to be successful at it. So I did a round because, of course, once you have cancer, the pressure comes from all angles because your immediate family, your distant friend, everybody, wants the best for you, but it might not be the best for you, right? So I went through this round of chemotherapy, and it nearly killed me. So talking to him on the phone, he said to me, Pat, I know you have faith, so there's this thing I've learned about, so, and at that time he was in training, he was on his path, so he would come up with these things. So he said, just listen to me and follow me. And I listened and I followed, and it was really a struggle because I'm sure he will tell you many a day I would call him and literally cuss him because he was trying to explain to me that if you take these things, you're going to get worse before you get better. And the thing about all these herbs and these supplements and this sort of thing is that it takes a while. To work. You would take a headache and it kills the pain overnight. But these things take a while to work, right? So you have to give them the time to work in your body. And it used to frustrate me. But then it did work.
So you have been taking these supplements?
Uh-huh. And then the minute I am in year before last, 2010, I came off of all of them. because I believe my own press that, oh, I'm fine. And he used to say to me, you cannot afford to come off. You just cannot afford to come off. You have to stay the path. But as I say, it's a struggle. You know, you want to eat what everybody eating and you want to do what everybody doing, but your body cannot do it. And my friend Norma Shirley died.
Yes.
And she's somebody who was very close to me, and she used to say to me, if she had to eat how I eat to live, she would rather die. So, I mean, I said to myself, oh well, let me enjoy some jerk pork and enjoy all these things and have me a wonderful time.
So you want to eat it hard?
To the day, right, 6 months to the day that I started to eat like that and come off my supplements and all these things that I do. Surely enough, where it came a calling.
So tell me something now, Pat. What you're saying to me here? What do you eat?
Well, I am a raw food practitioner, so I eat raw food. But the whole idea is to keep your body alkaline. Whatever food you eat, the whole idea is to keep your body alkaline.
So you
I found that I eat too much protein. I'm a meat eater. I'm a carnivore. There's nothing I like a steak. And I want to eat no form of vegetable with it. So if I don't eat how I eat, I want to go back to eating my meat and, you know, do all the wrong things.
Well, that sounds like me. But so you are a raw food person, you say. What is it that you eat? Tell our listeners, as a raw food person, what do you eat?
That's a, you know, although it's called raw food, I think it's a wrong connotation. It should be live food.
Yeah.
I eat everything like you would eat your ackee cooked in oil and whatever. I eat mine raw. Right? But
isn't it poisonous if you eat it?
No, it's not. That's not what makes it poisonous.
Okay.
What makes it poisonous is when it's not open. So, like, I wouldn't let you buy ackee from me. I only buy ackee for myself because they have to be wide open.
Okay.
Because the poison that is in it comes out after it's fully open.
Right.
So a lot of people do it first rapid. You know, I have a friend who always say you must never buy Japanese looking ackee. That is the ackee with the slit eyes. So, you know.
You mean that it's barely open?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It must be wide open. So you eat ackee, and you eat it raw?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I eat any, like if you're eating cauliflower, you steam it, I eat it raw.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so about days.
And what do you eat for protein if you're not eating meat now?
Nuts. I remember that all your vegetable has protein, and people don't realize that vegetable has protein in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And somebody told me on the first time I got sick that you have to eat 4% protein and we eat 80% protein. Well, I eat 90% protein.
Pat, I would like to continue this conversation with you, but we have to take a break now, and I will come back to you so we can explore this raw food a little bit more. So please just hold on, or we will be back with you right after this break. I'm Aloun Assamba, along with my guest in studio, energy medicine specialist and naturopathic holistic health practitioner Jarrett, and one of his clients, Lorraine Turner, who is currently being treated using naturopathic. And on the phone is Miss Pat Wright, a 4-time cancer survivor and an advocate of naturopathy. Pat, we want to talk a little bit more about what you first referred to as raw food, but then you changed and said live food.
Mm-hmm. That sounds better, because you know most people when you say raw food, they just have a vision of you eating raw meat and that sort of thing. So it's just much easier to say live food.
In the break we were talking about how do you eat raw yam, but you don't eat raw yam, do you?
Raw yam?
Or do you?
I eat yam chips.
You eat yam chips. What is
which is the yam done with flaxseed and dehydrated and made into a chip.
And where do you
I would eat yam.
And where do you get that? You do?
My son is a raw food chef, so it's very easy for me. But there's a lot of raw food restaurants opening, especially in Kingston.
Really?
When I come to Kingston, yeah, there's a great guy in Marketplace who does fantastic pizzas, the best hemp milk, almond milk, all that sort of thing. He does fabulous burgers. There's another one up at Maven Avenue. I forgot his name, but there are lots of raw food restaurants opening up all over the place.
But Patricia,
you don't have to eat raw food solely, but you should do at least one meal per day.
is this expensive, Pat, when you're talking about hemp milk and all of these?
I don't find it expensive. If I was to go and buy a soda or whatever, drink all these awful sugar juices, sugar water that everybody's filling their life with, you drink that instead and it's more filling. So I find it expensive. I shop in the market instead of the supermarket. It's not as expensive as, to me, the supermarket and the processed foods.
And so you would recommend that we should really go on as far as possible this kind of diet?
As far as possible as you can deal with. At least one meal per day. And a lot of people think that they have salads and they'll say, I have salads, and that's eating raw food. Eating a chicken salad with lettuce, like iceberg lettuce, I wouldn't even call it a vegetable. It has no nutrients in it. So, you need to eat, when you're going to eat a salad, you need to eat a vegetable salad if you're going to eat a salad.
And what would the salad
chicken?
As a vegetable
everything, string bean, broccoli, all these sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's whole heap of things to throw on it, to the side of vinegar, your olive oil. There's so many things to flavor it with. I put turmeric and everything. There's lots of things out there. I heard Jarrett talking about salt. Everybody with this big bag of salt. Don't use that stuff. It is not good for you. Right? Cayenne pepper. Everybody should have a tin of cayenne pepper in their cupboard. It does so much good. So much good, and it's giving you the pepper flavor. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to drink grapefruit juice with alkaline in your body, that sort of thing. Squeeze it yourself, go to the market, buy a bag of grapefruit, come home and squeeze it. So, beetroot juice. In the morning I have my juice with a banana, apple in it to sweeten it. If you make sure you put some spinach leaves, so you're getting something green in it at the same time.
That's what they call the green juice?
Green juice is green juice.
Yeah.
You can make any form of green juice you like. It depends on how much you can tolerate it. Like I can tolerate. I heard Jarrett saying to you that we tend to just want sweet, right? But just think of sweet. I can tolerate a good green juice, but that's not going to be very flavorful.
Yeah.
Just because I don't eat for flavor, I eat to live.
Earlier on, Jarrett talked about the fact that things that we think taste nice, not necessarily the things that are good for us.
That's the processed food that we're addicted to. I found those 6 months when I came off the thing. It really is an addiction, the things that they put in your food. And now, the other day I went somewhere and somebody fixed a fish for me. And I couldn't understand why I felt so bad. And when I looked, I guess I can't call the brand name, but it was a form of margarine that they had put in it. And that is a killer. That's not something you're supposed to eat. And half the time we go out and we eat, we don't know what we're eating because we don't know what the people have put in our food. So we have to be really careful about those things. I should say I have to be. Not everybody has to be, because maybe everybody not sick, but I have to be. So, and you find that if you eat a certain way, you feel good. Everywhere I go, everybody, how you look, so? Because I eat a certain way.
I must tell you that I've known you for quite a while, and I was not aware that you had all of these challenges with your health, because looking at you, I wouldn't know that. You know,
most people don't, and it's because you eat a certain way, and when you find that you're not eating a certain way, you see it on your skin, you see it under your eyes, you look puffy, you get bloated, you know, I mean, like all in my email box, you see it's some reason to see when these people talking about what is good to take belly fat out, and all these things that I take belly fat out, the things that I eat as a norm, you know. Yes. So it really makes a difference. It really makes a difference. And you feel much better. You jump up in the morning. You don't lie down and turn off your alarm clock. I don't need an alarm clock because you have your internal alarm. You get up and you feel alive, you know. When those 6 months are roll over, you don't feel to go anything. You don't feel to go anywhere. So it really makes a difference. Really makes a difference.
Well, Pat, I want to just thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story with us. I just want to ask one other question about this way of eating. Do you find that you spend a lot of time thinking about what you are going to eat?
No, because I'm somebody that will come home and take out the spinach leaves and eat them just like that. Because as Jarrett was saying, once your taste buds change, you know, those things don't bother you. Like, you know, I came home this evening after that school's challenge and I just ate my spinach leaves. Right? So I don't even have, if my son is not here and there's nothing fixed, I have no problem. And then I just throw a cup of noni into the blender with water, and it's very, as he said to you, it's very important, the water that you use, the water has to be purified. And I put my thing in there, and I drink my noni juice. Most people might say noni too steep and can't drink noni. Right? So, to each his own, but we really need to come out of this sweet thing.
I think that I can empathize with your saying that you can change the way how your taste buds change, because I never thought that I would be able to drink without condensed milk. I would travel and carry the condensed milk. I'm saying this. And when I run out of the condensed milk, I go looking. I remember being in Israel and found condensed milk in a tube, like toothpaste. Because I actually took it home to show people that condensed milk was packaged in this tube, like toothpaste, because I could never do without it. And I now have taught myself not to use condensed milk. I've taught myself not to need sugar. Nice. So, you know, I think it's over a period of time, your taste buds change, and so you can drink the noni juice, which might not be so nice after all.
But you see, what I found is that if you do fresh noni, like you just do the noni juice and drink it, when the noni start to ferment, then it gets frozen. So I found that if you do just the noni juice and drink it, don't move. But if you leave it till tomorrow, trust me,
you have to have it immediately.
Yeah, fresh. I find fresh. And everybody, like, people will say, you're drinking coffee. They're not drinking coffee. If they're not drinking coffee, there's a whole lot of stories out that coffee is good for people with Alzheimer's, that sort of thing. But it's not coffee they're drinking. They're drinking coffee with 5 spoons of condensed milk and 3 spoons of sugar and coffee creamer and all these sort of things. And that is the problem. We tend to spoil whatever we're having with all these
additives.
And that is what gets us in trouble. I mean, the sugar, man, the sugar. The other I had to say to a friend, I don't know what she was putting in. Oh, she was having how much Splendor and this and that. And I said to her, it would have been better you just put in a spoon of good old brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
I said, I said, because what you're doing is killing you.
So, I want to thank you, Pat, for sharing your story with us tonight. But for sharing this before this with Jamaica, just to say that there's a way that you can, as Jarrett says, take charge of your life and take charge of your body, and you are in fact a walking example of having taken charge and beating this thing that so many of us are so afraid of, cancer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being with us. And that was Pat Wright, a 4-time cancer survivor and an advocate of naturopathy. Jarrett, let me bring you back into this thing here. I want to just discuss with you. Oh, I have another guest online. And this is Miss Luciana Maneri. Tell me a little bit about Luciana.
Luciana is one of the most compliant clients that I have. She understands the route to wellness.
Yes.
And she complies. She has gotten so astute now that she's making recommendations to me based on the things that she researches herself and has started to use. So this is she has taken charge
of her own.
Yeah. And so her choices and her caring is what I have always advocated. There's a time when you don't need me as much. You become your own practitioner.
I see.
Physician, heal thyself. That's the stage where she reached now.
Well, hello, Luciano.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and welcome. Thank you for agreeing to speak to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Jarrett.
Hey, Lucy. Luciana is a producer, manager, and a sound system owner. What's the name?
I work with Silverhawk Sound, and I'm Pushboom Gang Production, so we're into the music industry, which, as you know, can sometimes be quite stressful.
So tell me, how did you start along this path, Luciana?
Well, I am a cancer survivor. In 2008, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and I had surgery. And after that, I just started work. I continued working. I actually worked both Jamaica and New York, and I'm currently in New York. But I found myself getting confused with traveling down to Jamaica rather. I was eating much healthier than I was here in New York. And I was having difficulty actually going back and forth, and I felt like my body was it was going in a state of shock because I would go down there, eat better, feel good, come back to New York and feel horrible.
Because you went back eating?
Well, because I didn't have the things that were accessible. I thought I didn't have the things that were accessible to me in Jamaica that I did here. Because I believe here in the States, there's a lot more fast food, and, things are available to you that are processed much quicker than that of those things that are natural. So when I met Jarrett, Jarrett was teaching me how to, he knew that I couldn't change overnight. It takes time, and with that understanding, I had to kind of learn and make changes each day, each month, each year. And now I've gotten to the point where, if someone would have told me 2 years ago that I would be completely organic and, not eating any processed food and, all natural and juices, I would rather juice my own or just eat the fruit itself. I would say, yeah, okay, I'd rather go and buy a jar of orange juice in the supermarket. Whereas now I'd rather just eat an orange. You know, and those are the things that Jarrett has taught me, you know, and I've gotten to levels where now I'm lost without wheatgrass. And, you know, I used to fight him and say, I'm not drinking that stuff.
Wheatgrass? What is wheatgrass?
You know, I take this wheatgrass. It's just, you know, it helps your immune system, your digestion. It gives you energy. And at first I was like, no, I'm not doing this. No. And now if I don't do it, I feel the difference in my body. And I've actually been able to, you know, because of the Reiki treatments and, you know, the education and the work that Jarrett has put in me, I'm able to even find symptoms, like I can pick them up and say, oh my goodness, you know what, I'm fine, I'm going to run down. I'm going to go and have, you know, some carrot and cucumber and beetroot juice with a shot of wheatgrass. You know, then I'll go to the health food store and they look at me and they go, you want a double? I said, absolutely. But I've changed my whole health routine. And being in the music industry, you really have to be really aware of your body because you have to be healthy. You're in stressful situations, you're touring, and, you know, you're going to need to make adjustments for your body. I mean, I'm taking glyconutrients now, never did that before. You know,
what is
natural vitamins.
What is glyconutrients? What is glyconutrients?
Well, Jarrett, would you like to explain it? Glyco comes from the Greek word sugar, and it's 8 sugars that they assemble into a supplement. It's actually one of the products that Pat I had introduced to Pat.
Yes.
So it helps to build your immune system. It helps the communication in the body. You know, like you tell your hand to move like this.
Yes, to the
if
right.
If your communication is not proper, you tell it to move to the right and it goes to the left.
Yes.
For your immune system starts to fight itself. Things like arthritis, other immune conditions like that we know so much or so little about, which I won't get into now. But there are conditions that if the cells, it's cellular health, right? It takes care of the health of each and every cell. We have over 100 trillion cells in our body.
Yes.
So glyconutrients enrich and fortify these cells so that they can be optimally healthy. And then because healthy cells, healthy tissue, healthy organs and glands.
Yes.
Healthy body,
yes.
Healthy system. So that is what glyconutrients does. It's the health of the cells.
Okay. And so, Luciana, you tell me what a meal, your meals for a typical day would be when you wake up in the morning, at lunchtime, and in the evening.
Well, you know, I would like to actually just take it one step further and say what I used to have. You know, I find myself to be a carbohydrate person. And I would always want toast. And, you know, Jarrett would be like, well, why don't you try something else? You know, like instead of toast, try something else. And I'm like, no, I was a very rebellious patient, I think. But I get up in the morning and I will have a piece of fruit.
Yes.
I'd have a piece of fruit. Or sometimes, you know, which would completely throw me off, is I would just saute some spinach, or I would have vegetables that I would never think of doing for breakfast.
Time. Yes.
Yeah, but now I find that I've changed the things that I crave because of the way I changed my habits to a better way. I find that I'm craving things that are much more healthy. So I would have, you know, I would actually make a protein drink. Sometimes I would just take some almond milk, which I never would do, never. But now I take my almond milk, I would take some almond butter, half a banana, some vegetables, and put it in a blender and just drink it.
Okay.
And that would be my breakfast, and I would feel like I could go and start the day. And then for lunch, I would have, you know, a salad. But, you know, now it's like instead of having, you know, like a romaine, I have to have those dark baby greens or baby spinach. You know, My kitchen is full of organic products, so everything you'll see as far as the vegetables are very dark green. And I was never one to have those things. Never.
So you have a salad lunch?
Yes. Well, sometimes I would have my main meal at lunchtime where I would have my protein. I would have fish or chicken, again, organic. And I would have my main meal during the day. And then in the evening, I would have something much lighter. I would have my salad or soup. I make lots of different soups. And I'm Italian, so sometimes I will make like a basil, garlic, and olive oil with a rice pasta, which I think I've actually had Jarrett try some, And sometimes I just have something like that, just, to boost my energy.
Yes.
Luciana is a great chef. She can cook. So the fact that she's eating all this raw food and all this healthy stuff, she reached a point of consciousness. Because one of the things that I like to point out is that there are foods that you eat that transform your thinking. Remember, it starts in the mind, but it then goes in a cycle or a circle where the body now starts to inform the mind.
Yes.
Right? The body says, I don't need that junk food anymore. Although I feel for it, I can't eat it.
And it will make you sick if you
get nauseous. You get nausea, you go to the bathroom, so it starts to turn out. What used to be, what you could assimilate now is toxic to you. Even when you think about it, let alone eating it. Right? So two things happen. You eat the right things, and it changes the way you eat. And when you are on that journey to get there, your body's craving for the nutrients that you're not giving it. So once you eat junk food continuously, the body keeps saying, I need some nutrition. And you keep giving it the junk food. And it's like, I still need nutrition. You ever see people who just keep eating? There's nutrition I'm looking for. Never get it.
Like you eat and you feel like you still want
something. You still want some food. Now, Lucy can tell you she don't eat as much. And it's not that she's craving for more. It's just that her body says, I'm cool now because she's eating right.
That's a big change for me because I didn't know what eating right was. And now, when I do eat right, I feel satisfied, I feel comfortable. Yeah, once in a while I still crave my ice cream, I'm not going to lie.
Is there something wrong with ice cream? Tell me.
Yeah.
There's the dairy and the sugar and all that, and now I find that, I am looking at those things where I used to crave all that stuff tremendously, where now it's like I almost feel guilty for having it because I know it's not good for me, and I just, it's that little rebel in me that I want, but we have to try and make changes for ourselves, especially, I feel in my line of work, we're in studios, sometimes we're working through the night, and we used to bring a lot of junk food with us, and even that has changed. Now it's like, unless you're bringing fruit and, raw vegetables or something to munch on like that, we don't want it. Because we need the energy. I also drink high alkaline water. I drink nothing less than 9.5 alkaline water.
And how do you get this alkaline water?
Well, I actually have a unit that I guess it started in Japan. It's called the Kangen machine, and it's now becoming quite popular here in New York. But it's great because there is a difference when you're drinking a high alkaline water as opposed to some of the bottled waters that are sold here in New York. We have actually tested and have known to be very low in alkaline, and actually, almost acidic.
Oh, I see.
And those things are that bad for your body, It's hard. If you don't have a Kangen machine, there are things like Avion or, Whole Foods store here now has so many different things. Like they have this 9.5 extra, they call it, and it's high alkaline water because people are starting to recognize that, you need to have high alkalinity in your body in order for you to be at your optimum health.
Well, Luciana, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story with us. Really
Thank you very much.
appreciate it. And next time you're in Jamaica, we could have another little discussion about this.
Yes, I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you. We're going to have to take another commercial break here from Talking Point Assamba Live, right here on News Talk 93 FM.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.